so this is a little bit something different. This is episode 1 of the video series where we're recording our picks for the Texas Tech podcast that you know and love as the Raider Power Podcast. Go follow it on iTunes, Spotify, download, subscribe, rate, review. But what we're going to be doing now is our last segment we're going to do live doing video picks, and we're going to talk about some big games for the week coming up and also run through the Big 12 games. So I'm Ryan, and that's Moss.
I'm Chris.
How you doing, partner?
I'm doing fantastic.
All right, so what do you say we dive right into these picks and talk about some of the big games this week?
Let's give it a little backstory on how good we're doing this season. Ryan, what are you for the season?
I know that I'm up in money. My actual record, I didn't keep track the first couple weeks, but I'm hitting at probably a 60% success rate.
Yeah,
You?
I'm around there too. I'm 100% on all Tech games. We'll have our intern figure out our scores and then get you guys back on the next episode. But let's dive in, huh?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with the big games. The first game I want to highlight is a little bit of a revenge game. It's number 3 Clemson hosting Syracuse. The spread is -24 Clemson, and this game's big for a couple reasons. Number one, Trevor Lawrence got announced the official starter for Clemson starting this week. And number 2, last year, a hobbled Kelly Bryant went all the way up to Syracuse, and Syracuse beat the number 2 team in the country.
Interesting. Ryan, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have an opinion on this one, so I'm going to let you have it.
Yeah, sure. So what I think is with this game is Syracuse has been good so far, but not only have they kind of been a little bit lucky with some of their games, but they haven't played too great of a team. So while they've looked good and statistically they've had good performances, Clemson is just such a more dominant team. This Trevor Lawrence kid can let the ball fly. The defensive front is as good as it's ever been, stacked with future NFL players. And beyond that, Clemson's going to be mad. And Dabo's going to run this game up because they got embarrassed last year, and now it's at home in Death Valley, or whatever the fuck they call their stadium. And you know what? Clemson -24. That's my first pick of the video series. I'm taking them.
All right. Well, you seem very confident in your pick, so I hope you're right.
All right. Well, you tell me, what's the next game you want to talk about?
Wow. We got number 7 Stanford going to number 8 Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a 5.5 favorite over Stanford, who just came off that historic victory over Oregon. I'm taking Stanford, Ryan. Who are you taking?
I'm going to have to go against you on this one and take Notre Dame -5.5.
All right.
For a couple of reasons. Another quarterback change. Ian Book officially a starter, and when he got in the game last week, he was letting it fly. He was looking great. It really makes this Notre Dame team a two-pronged offensive attack. Stanford, their offensive efficiency numbers have been pretty poor. Bryce Love is only averaging a little bit over 4 yards a carry, and the team's averaging a little under 4 yards a carry. And that's not going to bode well against this Notre Dame defense, who's only allowing like 3.5 yards a carry on defense. So I think they stuffed the Stanford running attack. The quarterback can't get it out there, and Notre Dame's offense is going to do some work at home. And I think Notre Dame rolls. I think it's way bigger than 5.5.
What do you think the projection on the score is?
Stanford's not going to score a lot. I think Stanford scores like 14. Might be like 28-14 Notre Dame.
So you're going to take the under?
Yeah, I don't think Stanford's going to be able to score, and it'll be all like Notre Dame points mainly. So I'm going to go under and Notre Dame covering.
All right. Well, I'm not going to touch Stanford winning that game then, or covering. I'm going to take the under. That's what I was thinking all along.
I bet.
What's your next game you got going on?
This is a massive one. It's a in-conference play, Big Ten. Number 4, Ohio State, traveling to number 9, Penn State. Ohio State are the favorites right now at about 3.5. And this is definitely going to be a hell of a game. Urban Meyer's back. His second start, his first one against a tough opponent. Penn State's doing their whiteout, which whenever they do that game, the fans come. It is insane there. I went to one whiteout game a few years back, and it was an electric atmosphere. I think this is going to be a hell of a game. What are you going to take for your side? I'll give my lean after.
This is a tough one. Penn State has a long tradition of winning those whiteout games. I think I'm going to go with Penn State covering.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that, but the Hoskins for Ohio State has been so good, and Urban Meyer needs to prove that he matters for them to win. And Ryan Day calling the plays isn't all they need. So although Penn State whiteout, You always want to take them in that game. I'm going to go with Ohio State here, 3.5. So we're on another different sides once again.
I don't like that, right? We're usually locked in.
I know, it's kind of crazy. Let's talk about another big game.
So the next game that I want to go to here, Ryan, is number 20 BYU at number 11 Washington. Washington is favored 17.5 points. Who are you taking? Because I know who I'm taking.
I'm going BYU here.
I'm also going BYU here.
Oh, I like to hear that, baby.
I think Washington wins, though. I think Washington wins.
I do too, but I think the 17.5 number is a little bit too big. This BYU team's shown they're good this year. And Washington, I don't think they're going to be able to get the run game off the ground going up against this BYU defense. And if they can't get that off the ground, it's all on Browning. And, he can get them a win, but I don't think he can get them a 3-point, over 3-score fucking cover. I'm going BYU cover.
That's well said, Ryan. I totally agree with you 100%. Do you want to move on to the next game? Yeah,
let's do another big one. South Carolina traveling to number 17 Kentucky. Kentucky's 1.5-point favorites. Hey. And I got to say, the stats might point to Kentucky's great this year, and they're the side to go with. But this just feels like a game. We got South Carolina traveling to number 17 Kentucky. Kentucky's a 1.5-point favorite. And, all the stats might point to Kentucky. They're the team to take. They've been so good this year, blah, blah, blah. This just feels like a trap game to me. I feel like South Carolina, for some reason, is going to roll them. And I'm taking the away dogs on this one. Fuck it. I'm going South Carolina.
Oh, all right. I see you. Again, I don't really know enough about these teams to make an opinion on it, but I respect your opinion. You've been winning most of your games. I would also go South Carolina.
And for the last game, we got number 19 Oregon traveling to number 24 Cal, Pac-12 matchup. And we got Oregon 3-point favorites. How do you feel about it, brother?
Ryan, I think Oregon has been so devastated by their loss. They're going to come in with a new fire and blow Cal out of the water. Because you know what, Ryan? Oregon's got the weapons. They're there.
They do. Absolutely.
I think they're good enough to compete with anyone in the country. I just think it was a snowball effect last game against Stanford. One bad thing happened, just kind of fell into the next, and they blew their lead. I think they learned from that and move forward, and I think they blow Cal out of the water. What do you think?
They blew their load early, then they blew their lead, and now they're going to blow Cal out of the water. I'm with you 100%. I love this pick. Couldn't love it anymore.